Okay, anyways, let's start. Those who wish, they would be joining. Rest, we won't be waiting. Fine. So we are going to do the first question. Try to answer, and I will give you the explanation. The first question is here. This is very interesting question, and this actually question has increased the scope of or the area of the questions for you. This particular question is from unit number 2, human resource management, and match the following with the stages or evolution of human resource management practices. So you have to match the era with the year. Scientific management era, human relation era, behavioral science era, human resource management era. And the years are given. Answer this. If you're not able to answer the question, do let me know, but try, at least try. Yes. So the answer for this is option number B. Your scientific era started 1900, 1920s. Human relation era was your 1930s to 1950s. Behavioral science era is your 1950s to 1960s. Human resource era is 1980. Now, even if you don't know the exact year, but if you know the right sequence, if you know the right sequence, am I not audible? Audible, na? Yes, Ritika, you want to ask something? You're not audible, Ritika. Ritika, no. So please, okay, fine. Even if you don't know the years, if you are aware of the right sequence, that which era happened first. So we know it was the human relation. So sorry, it was the first scientific era, right? Scientific पहले आया, फिर human relation आया, behavioral आया, and then human resource management. Now, this all we have studied in principles and practices of management when we studied the evolution, or you can say the different stages. Again, I have taught the evolution of organizational behavior, and this class has been taken on YouTube for the free and even on the app it's available. See, there is no difference in the evolution of either of them, but the few things has been, you can say add on, or some few things has been removed in every concept. So let's understand this, the journey of human resource practices. Other than this four era, are there any eras? So basically it was prior to BC, before Christ, then ancient era, medieval era, industrial revolution era, trade union era, social responsibility, scientific management, human relation, and human resources. And middle of here, you can call it as behavioral, which is not written here. Now, we don't have to go to this long back medieval era. We will be studying from here. Industrial revolution era. What is this? So it was the era which actually has the characteristic, the relationship of, or now understand this, this is your expected. यहाँ पे एरा के पहली लाइन में जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स लिखे हैं, ये अपकमिंग एग्जाम में आपके लिए क्वेश्चन बन सकते हैं. द क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड के विच ऑफ यू हैव टू मैच द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, यानी फर्स्ट एरा इंडस्ट्रियल एरा के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या थे, उसमें क्या कॉमन था, क्या चल रहा था. सो इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन एरा, द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन ओनर एंड बॉस. सो व्हाट वाज देयर, द रिलेशनशिप ऑफ दिस एरा वाज ओनर है, बॉस है, ठीक है, ओनर है, एक बॉस है जिसके पास में कंप्लीट अथॉरिटी है, and there is an subordinate who are called as master, subordinates who are called as servant. So the relation was master and servant role. ठीक है. Now the first industrial revolution started in middle of 18th century. It brought the labor. Adam Smith, who is known as father of economics, this is also your PYQ. इसके पहले वाले ईयर में क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, who is called as the father of economics, so it is Adam Smith. So who advocated maximization of the wealth through his book Wealth of Nations, maximization of wealth and maximization of profit. You need to remember his book. You need to know he is known as father of economics. Also, you need to know what was the relationship in industrial revolution. It was master and servant. Owner was having the authority and the employees were servant to them. Then came trade union era. This was the era where slowly the trade union or employees or the laborers started becoming aware. They started forming the groups. Also, somewhere government also started putting the efforts so to control this trade union. But yes, there was a trade union era where all over the sector, all over the industry, there were the trade unions formed in order to enter into collective bargaining process with the employer or association formed with. This era was around 1880s. Trade union movement started and picked up strength close to 19th century. क्या था यहाँ पे? The relationship was between owner with the constrained authorities and the worker. ठीक है? Owner with constrained authority. Constraint here is that they had the authority, but somewhere they need to take into consideration the worker's viewpoint. So worker और owner के बीच में constrained authority. Then came your social responsibility era. Here the relationship was fatherly figure. Owner was the father who was responsible to take care of the employees, give them welfare measures. So that was social responsibility era, and this era was along the 20th century. Robert Owen is called as the father of the personal management, who is also associated, the first one who is associated with the welfare movement. Then came your scientific era. This was 1900 and 1920. So now here the relationship was expectant owner and skilled worker. Expectant means owner is expecting something. There is a standard of behavior. आपसे कुछ एक्सपेक्ट किया जा रहा है कि ये आपके स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ बिहेवियर हैं, और जो वर्कर्स थे they were skilled because scientific method was used. So Taylor is known as father of scientific management, and his principles included scientific working, harmony, cooperation. He developed time and motion studies to increase the productivity. So this was scientific era. Then after that, somewhere women started taking part in the manufacturing companies. They started including into craftsman job. So there was a small era between this human relation era and scientific era, and relationship was between calculated owner and mass of workers akin to the appendages of machinery. So now this was during First World War, where women were started recruiting. So they were recruited for the job. The reason for recruiting the women here was that since First World War was going on, the men were involved into the war. So in order to fill the gaps during this fight, they started hiring the women. Okay. Now came human relation era. Hawthorne experiment, scientific management continued. Then came your Hawthorne experiment. So this was the time when humans were given the importance. This was around 1920s. Around 1920s, management researchers started taking the importance, giving the importance, and it was 1930s to 50s human relation era. Then your behavioral era. So this was behavior was studied. Then came your human resource management era. This was where management, your planning, organizing, human relation in the terms of motivation, gender, race, taking the background into care, diversity, also all that came into the existence. Now, do you need the further explanation? This is highly expected question in coming exam. Is this clear? Chalo, let's move to the next question. Marginal productivity theory, exploitation theory of wages, demand and supply theory of wages, bargaining theory of wages. You have to match what is marginal productivity theory, what is exploitation theory of wages, demand and supply theory of wages, bargaining theory of wages. Chalo. Fine. Students are not able to join the class. There is some network issue. Again, this question is from the theories of wages. Theories of wages is a topic from where repetitively every year the question is asked. The authors to match with the theories or the explanation or the theories. So this question, the answer for this is option number A. Marginal productivity theory. Labor is paid according to marginal productivity. Exploitation theory is also called as Karl Marx theory. This is labor is paid only the part of the share he produces. Demand and supply theory is actually derived from marginal productivity, or rather you can say demand and supply lead to the marginal productivity theory. This is your option number. Wages are derived from the interaction of demand and supply. Bargaining theory, where bargaining is used to identify the wages. Now let us understand a little bit detail about them. So marginal productivity theory was propounded by Wicksteed and Clark. What is the marginal productivity theory? Marginal productivity theory says that every employee, he is when he is working in an organization, he has certain productivity. Now he has certain productivity and there is certain standards of the performance being set for him. Employer who is hiring this person, will keep on hiring other people as well. They keep on hiring other people as well until and unless the marginal productivity is, you can say, high. This is in this way that for every employer they involve certain cost. वो कुछ cost involve करते हैं to hire the employee. Till the time the cost is less than the profit, it means till the marginal productivity of employee is high, then the cost invested on them, the employees would be hired. But as soon as the productivity, or as soon as the employer feel there is no productivity, no marginal productivity added, he will stop hiring. So in order to maintain that marginal productivity, उस marginal productivity को maintain करने के लिए the employer only pays him as per the cost of production. ये लेबर मार्केट में हम डिटेल में पढ़ने वाले हैं. एक सिंपल लैंग्वेज में मैं आपको समझाना चाहूंगी कि जो एम्प्लॉई है, ठीक है, एक एम्प्लॉई है. देयर वाज वन एम्प्लॉई. This one employee worked for 8 hours, was giving 10 product. Two employees second came, they were working for 20 hours because he is also 8 hours, he is also working for 8 hours, and this 10, now they two together are able to give you, let's say, 18 products. Then third came, so hiring is happening, there is an hiring, employer is like keep on hiring. What happened? Prabha, see, don't raise your hand unnecessarily. Do let me know in the comment section that you want to ask any query, then raise your hand. Fine. Most welcome to the class, those who have joined the session. तो इससे डिस्टर्बेंस होता है, ठीक है, आप बीच में हैंड रेज नहीं करेंगे. फाइन. सो व्हाट आई एम सेइंग कि एक एम्प्लॉय है, एम्प्लॉयर ने हायर किया, ही वर्क फॉर 8 hours. लेट मी क्लियर दिस एंड राइट इट मोर क्लियरली. सो देर इज वन एम्प्लॉय, एक एम्प्लॉय 8 hours काम करके 10 प्रोडक्ट देगा. एम्प्लॉयर को लगा आई नीड मोर प्रोडक्शन, सो ही हायर्ड सेकेंड एम्प्लॉय. ही इज वर्किंग फॉर 8 hours, तो 16 hours दोनों मिलके 18 प्रोडक्ट दे रहे हैं. थर्ड एम्प्लॉय, he also working for 18 hours, and somewhere they are giving, you can say 10, 18, 26 product. ठीक है, 26 product. Then the fourth employee came. Now they all together are only giving 34 or 32. Then fifth came 8 hours and he is only giving 29. So now understand this. क्या होता है यहाँ पे कि एक एम्प्लॉई 10 दे रहा है, ठीक है, his marginal productivity. अब marginal productivity क्या होती है? That when you are hiring one extra employee, उसके एक्स्ट्रा एम्प्लॉय को हायर करने से आपको एक्स्ट्रा क्या मिल रहा है? एक्स्ट्रा मिल रहे हैं, पहले 10 थे अब 18, यानी 8 प्रोडक्ट आपको एक्स्ट्रा मिले. सो मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी हियर इज इंक्रीजिंग. इसे हम कहेंगे कि प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज हो रही है. यहाँ पे भी एक तरीके से इंक्रीज हो रही है, यहाँ पे भी इंक्रीज हो रही है, बट यहाँ पे डिक्रीज हो गई. तो जहां एम्प्लॉयर को लगेगा कि अब मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी डिक्रीज हो गई है, वो स्टॉप कर देगा हायरिंग. दैट इज व्हाट द मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ वेजेस इज. और वो वेजेस वैसे ही देगा, उसी हिसाब से फिर वेजेस देगा. Surplus value of money, which is called as exploitation theory, given by Karl Marx. According to him labor is a commodity of trade. Trade यानी आप उसको बेच सकते हो. And this is an article of commerce which you can purchase at the subsistence price. What is subsistence price? एक सर्वाइवल लेवल का अमाउंट देना. सर्वाइवल, केवल उसके सर्वाइवल के लिए जो उसका खर्चा, यानी एम्प्लॉयर ने अगर किसी पर्सन को हायर किया, उसके ऊपर जो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन है, उसका जो कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन आएगा, केवल उतना पैसा वो एम्प्लॉय को देते हैं, और एक्चुअल जो अर्न करके देता है एम्प्लॉय वो हायर होता है. तो जैसे 1000 रुपए वो एम्प्लॉय को दे रहा है पर मंथ, और एम्प्लॉय उसको कमा के दे रहा है 2000 रुपए, तो वो उसको 1500 नहीं देगा, वो उसको 1000 ही देगा, क्योंकि वो उसका कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन है. Rest 1000 rupees he keeps with himself, and in this case when he is keeping with himself, वो उसको exploit कर रहा है, and hence this is called as also exploitation theory या surplus value theory. जो भी surplus create होता है वो उसे अपने पास रखता है. ठीक है, clear everyone? Next, demand and supply theory. What is demand and supply? Demand is demand for the labor, supply is supply for the labor. So within the market के अंदर में labor are available to supply their labor, and employer are available to purchase that, or they have the demand for labor. तो market में number of factors are there which affects the demand for the labor and which affects the supply for the labor. The wages at which this demand and supply becomes equal, जहां पे वो equal हो जाते हैं, वहां पे wages decide होते हैं, right? So this is demand and supply theory given by Alfred Marshall. We are going to study this in detail in our detailed class. Bargaining theory given by John Davidson. Number of time has been asked in exam. Now John Davidson said that employee and employer, they enter into bargaining process to determine the wages. Clear? Is this clear? Any query, any question you can ask me. When this class conducting, Prabha Jain, Prabha, morning में it's 9:30 या 9:45. If you want to attend my class, this is the free class for the day, but you can enroll for the you can enroll for the paid course. Okay, this class is part of the paid course. Okay, let's move to the next question. Now this is very, very interesting and very important. Repetitively, this is specifically, you can say, principles and practices of management फंक्शंस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट से क्वेश्चन है, जहां पे आई हैव ऑलरेडी टॉट यू इन डिटेल व्हाट इज पॉलिसीज, व्हाट आर ऑब्जेक्टिव, व्हाट आर प्लान, व्हाट आर गोल, व्हाट आर मिशन, एंड हमेशा इसमें से एक क्वेश्चन 100% आता है. So the question is asking you, on the following of basis of top to down approach, from top to down hierarchy of objective, you have to arrange them in top. सबसे ऊपर क्या आएगा? Mission, departmental objective, individual objective, purpose, organizational objective. Quickly answer this, then I will explain the terms. Of course, this is live session going on. HR aspirant, this is the live session going on. I'm talking to you. Didn't you get notification? How many of you got notification? How many of you didn't get the notification? I shared the, like every student has must have been notified. Okay, ठीक है. What would be the answer? Nisha have answered A. Others, please. Okay, so this is very important question. The answer for this is A. Now, we have few things. Hierarchy, ये तो objectives की hierarchy है, ठीक है. This is together, it's all about objectives, ठीक है. Now, when I talk about overall organization, the most toppest thing is strategy. सबसे ऊपर strategy आता है. Then vision. In strategy only you form vision. Then mission. Then you have goals. Then you have objectives. ठीक है. Now this goals and objectives are the part of the plan. So you can say mission के बाद plan भी आता है. Objectives के बाद में आपके आएंगे rules, sorry, policies, then rules, procedure, method. Clear? This is the sequence. Now, we here are specifically talking about objectives. What are the goals? What are the objective? What is strategy? Strategies are long term, you can say, objectives or long term targets or the goals which are to be achieved by organization. In this strategy only, it is decided where we want to go and how we are going to reach there. Give me a second, just a moment. So, okay, am I audible? Nihar, Umesh, good morning. Welcome to the class. Yashoda, good morning. Am I audible now? So sorry. I muted myself and I didn't unmute. Let me explain this again, once again. Okay. So हम बात कर रहे हैं यहां तक. इज दिस क्लियर टू एवरीवन? स्ट्रैटेजी का मतलब क्या है, विजन क्या है, मिशन क्या है, गोल्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है. अब ऑब्जेक्टिव्स की अपनी हायरार्की होती है कि जब हम ऑब्जेक्टिव की बात करते हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या होते हैं? किसी भी अपने अल्टीमेट गोल को अचीव करने के लिए, अल्टीमेट गोल को अचीव करने के लिए जब आप छोटे छोटे स्टेप्स लेते हो, लाइक योर अल्टीमेट गोल इज टू गेट द जॉब इन टीचिंग और रिसर्च, to get the job in teaching or research, or rather I would say government job लेना. PSU एग्जाम के लिए भी आप प्रिपेयर कर सकते हो. So you to fulfill this government job, the main objectives, initial objectives would be your what? कि एग्जाम क्वालिफाई करना, नेट क्वालिफाई करना. So this small pieces of the targets gives you the goals. Clear? So objective themselves have an hierarchy. It start with the purpose. Purpose is why this organization is existing. Mission, where and how I will be getting this purpose, actually what are the steps. Corporate is your top level, which is organizational objectives. Functional is your departmental level objective, like HR function, IT department, marketing department objective. Team, HR डिपार्टमेंट में भी रिक्रूटमेंट टीम के क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है, ऑपरेशंस टीम के क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव है, and then individual objectives. Now, objectives basically can be organizational objective, basically have to be defined very nicely, and it is having 8 main characteristics. A clear set of objective, clearly defined. You have to specify, you have to be very clear that कि मेरा अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ऑब्जेक्टिव मार्केट में टॉप करना है, टॉप करना क्या, केवल टॉप करना, ये क्लियर डेफिनेशन नहीं है. टॉप करना यानी एक नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्शन हो सकता है, एक नंबर ऑफ लेवल ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन टू द एम्प्लॉय हो सकता है, राइट. मार्केट को एक्वायर करना हो सकता है, तो उसको एकदम क्लियर स्पेसिफाई करेंगे. अटेनेबल, अचीवेबल, क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव होना चाहिए. फ्लेक्सिबल, hierarchy of goals should be there. It means strategic goals, that is top level, then your tactical goals, that your middle level, operational goal, that is your lower level. There should be proper hierarchy के ऊपर वाले क्या करेंगे. Objective has to be specific. It should not be vague. It should not be very lengthy. It has to be very specific कि as an individual अगर मैं recruitment में हूँ तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. Several different goals. ठीक है. So this is the explanation. You can just go through by yourself. Now, what is quantitative and qualitative objective? Quantitative objectives are mostly frequently used. They are something which is done in the form of the number figures, and they are the easiest way to define because it involves calculative thing. However, qualitative objective are not used by every organization because defining them is very typical work in the terms qualitatively, like in the service, customer satisfaction. So now when you would say that your customer is satisfied, like your Meesho, your Amazon, your Flipkart, you know, Amazon has more customer satisfaction as compared to the Flipkart. Why this is the difference, how they have identified this. So defining this service into service section, this qualitative aspect of the objective comes. Otherwise, always quantitative objectives are used. Is this clear? Sabhi ko clear hai? Chalo, let me know. Let's move to the next. Given is the two statements, assertion and reason. Constitution of India is in the directive principles stresses upon the importance of welfare. Voluntary welfare measure came under welfare work voluntary carried out by employers and workers organization. Very simple question. If you are aware of the context, you can answer this. Let's do this quickly. Actually, these questions are very simple. Yes. हाँ, हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या है, हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में वेलफेयर के बारे में मेंशन है, और वॉलेंट्री मेजर्स भी हैं, वॉलेंट्री मेजर्स भी हैं जो एम्प्लॉयर ने वॉलेंट्रीली कैरी किए थे और वर्कर्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यानी ट्रेड यूनियन ने भी इंट्रोड्यूस किए थे. अहमदाबाद टेक्सटाइल labor association was the first one to basically, or you can say the largest trade union organization which introduced the voluntary measures of welfare. These two things are related to welfare, but both are in different context. This is talking about your you can say Indian constitution provisions. This is different. So yes, both these statements are correct, but that is not the reason. See, मैंने आपको ट्रिक बताई थी दैट्स वाई लगाना. जो रीजन है उसके पीछे दैट्स वाई लगाना. अगर आंसर मिलता है तो वो रीजन है, नहीं तो नहीं. Voluntary welfare measure come under welfare work voluntarily carried out by employers and workers organized. That's why the Constitution of India. ऐसा तो है नहीं ना, इसकी वजह से नहीं. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल, ये तो हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन है, ये हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन है. वॉलेंट्री की वजह से इसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया नहीं, ये हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन है, राइट. सो दैट्स व्हाई लगाना. यूजुअली आपकी ट्रिक होती है आप बिकॉज लगाते हैं. बिकॉज ऐसे लगाओगे तो यहाँ पे आपको आंसर मिलता है. आप जैसे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया इन डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल स्ट्रेसेस अपॉन द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ वेलफेयर बिकॉज वॉलेंट्री मेजर. सो दिस इज समवेयर लिंकिंग. इसमें गलत हो जाता है. तो द ट्रिक इज बी, रीजन के बाद आप दैट्स व्हाई यूज करेंगे. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Article 39, 41, these are DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policies, Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Article 39, 41, Article 42, 43, match. Very simple, you have to by heart them. Yes, क्या होगा आंसर? No one have answered. Yep. The answer for this is option number C. Article 39 provides that state shall secure right to equal right to educate means of livelihood. Also, it provides equal opportunities, access to justice. Citizens ensure opportunity not denied. Article 41, economic capacity for right to work and education. 42, secure just and human condition and maternity relief. 43, secure living wage, decent work and social culture opportunities. 43A, this was introduced by 42nd Amendment of Indian Constitution, workers' participation in management. Right? Another question. Now this is very common question, important, from the trade unions, repetitively being asked. Name of the authors and the book you have to match. Sling Pullman, Robert F. Hoxie, Frank Tantanum, Ashok Mehta. Okay. इस पेपर में 2 क्वेश्चंस आए थे अशोक मेहता से रिलेटेड. Now this is what we have already studied in our detailed class. What would be the answer? स्लिंग पर्लमैन ने क्या बुक दी है? रॉबर्ट एफ हॉक्सी ने क्या बुक दी है? फाइन. The answer for this is option number B. Sling Pullman is associated or has given a book, Theory of Labor Movement. What did Sling Pullman do? Sling Pullman has given job consciousness theory. These authors have given different theories of the trade union. When I say for different theories of the trade union means their reason. They have given a theories why the trade unions have formed. So Sling Pullman said that trade union are not the result of the class struggle or class consciousness. Trade unions are the result of job consciousness. What is class consciousness? There are 2 classes, employee, employer. Employee have their own objective, employer have their own objective. When this objective clashes, conflict arises. Employee want to achieve their objective, employer want to achieve their objective. As a result of this conflict, trade unions are formed in order to fight against the employer. But this is called as class consciousness. But according to Sling-Pullman, it's not class consciousness why trade union are formed. It is the job consciousness. Means when in the market certain job becomes less, employees or the manual workers become conscious and they try to protect their jobs. And for protecting their job, they form the trade union. Robert F. Hoxie, who has used a pluralistic approach, according to Robert F. Hoxie, see, his book is Trade Unionism in the United States, Psychology. He is talking about psychology. People with the same situation, people with the same condition, temperament, facing the same problem, they come together and they form the trade union. Frank Tantnam is your philosophy of labor, मशीन वर्सेस मैन. टैंटनम ने कहा कि जो मैकेनाइजेशन है, मशीन एरा है, मशीन्स जब से आई हैं, मशीन्स की वजह से एम्प्लॉय की जॉब चली गई, वर्कर्स की जॉब जा रही है. एज अ अनकॉन्शियस रिबेलियन अगेंस्ट दिस मशीन्स, ट्रेड यूनियन आर फॉर्म्ड. Ashok Mehta has given a mediating role of trade union in underdeveloped countries. The contribution of this we have already studied in our detailed class, right? So let's move to the next question. Give me a second. Assertion and reason. Okay, now again one more new concept. हाँ, डिटेल्ड क्लास में सब कुछ है. मैं ऑलरेडी ट्रेड यूनियन पढ़ा चुकी हूँ. डिटेल्ड क्लास में सारी थ्योरीज है, कुछ भी मिसिंग नहीं है. ठीक है, read it, read the question and answer. Is the lagging? Time is lagging. Sandy, you have raised your hand. Do you want to talk? Why others are not answering? Is there lag? Time lag? Am I not? मैं जो पढ़ा रही हूँ वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या? समझ में आ रहा है ना? तो आंसर क्यों नहीं कर रहे? या कंसेप्ट या कंटेंट नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है, अगर आपको आंसर नहीं आ रहा है कोई बात नहीं है, बट डू लेट मी नो इफ द थिंग्स आर क्लियर टू यू. समझ में आ रहा है? ठीक है. The question assertion here is ingratiation involves agreeing with the recruiter's opinion by the candidate and thus signaling that they share similar belief. A perceived similarity in attitude or the values does not influence how interviewer rates the applicant's competencies. Yes. Answer. I will let you know the meaning of the term. Yep. No. Ritika, that's not the correct answer. The answer for this is option number C. This is correct. This is not correct. Now, let's first understand what do you mean by ingratiation. क्या होता है? आपने भी ये अपने लाइफ में किया होगा. जब when you go for an interview or when you are into the organization, you usually agree to your boss. जो सबॉर्डिनेट होते हैं ना, वो सुपीरियर जो कह रहा है, जो भी बोल रहा है, उस पर एग्री करते जाते हैं. क्यों एग्री करते जाते हैं? कि मैं अपने बॉस की बात मानूंगा तो मेरे लिए फेवरेबल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस डेवलप होंगे, प्रमोशन, रेजेस और सारी चीजों के लिए, राइट? इसे इंग्रिएशन कहते हैं. इसी तरीके से जब इंटरव्यू होता है, रिक्रूटर्स जो होते हैं, यूजुअली जो रिक्रूट कर रहा है, वो जो कहते हैं उसकी बातों में हाँ हाँ हाँ, यस सर मानते हैं. ठीक है, वो दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं कि सर यस, योर बिलीफ सिस्टम and my belief system is same. First sentence is correct. दूसरा sentence कहता है perceived similarity in attitude does not. No, it influences. When a recruiter is recruiting or doing an interview, he has a bias or he has a tendency to hire or shortlist the candidate where he found the person of the same belief. तो उसको वो रेट उसी तरीके से करता है कि इसकी सोच मेरे जैसी है, मेरी टीम में काम करेगा. सिमिलरली विद इन दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आल्सो, एम्प्लॉइज जो सबॉर्डिनेट होते हैं वो अपने बॉस की हाँ में हाँ मिलाते हैं ताकि उनको पॉजिटिव कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस मिले. Is this clear? Let's move to the next. So now ingredient comprises several strategies, namely self-enhancement, other enhancement, opinion of conformity, rendering the favors. सेल्फ एनहांसमेंट इज जो एम्प्लॉयर के दिमाग, जो मेरे मैनेजर या मेरे बॉस के दिमाग में मेरी इमेज है, the subordinates get affected to it and start creating his image in the same way. तो अगर मेरा बॉस मुझे बोलता है, oh she is very very hard working or she is very trustworthy, so I would start executing the same behavior. That is self enhancement. So if I am somewhere not executing the behavior, I start enhancing them. Others enhancement, यहाँ पे क्या होगा, बॉस अगर अच्छा काम कर रहा है, you start praising, you praise there, you are enhancing, sir आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया, buttering, a kind of an buttering. Then opinion conformity, opinion is जो भी बॉस बोलेगा उस पे हाँ बोलना है. This is a tactic to realize, to make a senior or supervisor that we are with you, our belief system. So this kind of behavior is called yes man behavior. Yes man यानी हाँ हम conform कर रहे हैं. That is attitudinal conformity, cognitive behavioral conformity. एटीट्यूड सेम लेके चलेंगे, उन्हीं की तरह बात करेंगे, उन्हीं की तरह बिहेव करेंगे, वर्क रिलेटेड इश्यूज हो, नॉन वर्क रिलेटेड इश्यूज हो. क्लियर? लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Dark triad is a constellation of negative personality traits consisting of Machiavellism, narcissism, and psychopathy. An individual is narcissism is pragmatic, maintains emotional distance, and believe the ends can justify means. Again, very very important question from the personality, organizational behavior. इस कोर्स में और भी चैप्टर्स होंगे. हाँ होंगे 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 होंगे. चापलूसी सैंडी, यस. सी हम लोग पूरे करने वाले हैं एस्पिरेंट, इस पेपर को पूरा करने वाले. जिस तरीके से हमने जून का किया है, इसको भी करेंगे. इसमें कोई क्वेश्चन पूछने वाली बात है ही नहीं, सारे क्वेश्चंस हम डिटेल में कर रहे हैं. चलो आंसर दिस. इतना परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है. मैम अगर एक क्लास में आपको डिटेल पढ़ा रही है तो सारा भी करवाएगी. What is the answer? Yes, the answer, this question is from OB, dark personality. The question is dark triad. अब ये narcissism, pragmatic, emotional distance, A is correct but R is not correct. क्यों? What is narcissism? जो अपनी ही तारीफ, सेल्फ ऑब्सेस्ड बोलते हैं ना, जो सेल्फ एडमिरेशन, सेल्फ एंटाइटलमेंट में जब ज्यादा घुसा रहता है, एरोगेंट होता है, कैरिज्मेटिक, मोर ऑफ अपने बारे में, ठीक है, अपना सेल्फ रिपोर्ट अपने बारे में ही जो, और दूसरों को एक्सप्लॉइट करता है, सेल्फिश होगा, वो सेल्फिश होगा, दूसरों को एक्सप्लॉइट करेगा. जो प्रैग्मेटिक है वो मैकियावेलिज्म है, जो दूसरों से इमोशनल डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करके चलते हैं. They are like manipulative. They don't get involved into with others, but they will be manipulating. Psychopathy, इनको किसी के दर्द से, दुख से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. इनको इनकी जो एक्टिविटीज होती हैं ये हार्मफुल होती हैं, इम्पल्सिव होती हैं. They don't have any regard for the pains for the other, no empathy, no sympathy. वो केवल और केवल अपने कंसर्न, अपने बारे में सोचते हैं, और उनको अपनी एक्टिविटी का, कोई भी एक्टिविटी का कोई गिल्ट नहीं होता. वो किसी को मारेंगे तो साइकोपैथी लोग बोलते हैं उसने ऐसे किया, उसने मुझे मजबूर किया था मारने के लिए, उसने मुझे मजबूर किया था कि मैं ऐसा बिहेव करूं, इसमें मेरी कोई गलती नहीं है. नार्सिज्म इज लाइक ये मेरा है, ये मैंने किया, राइट, ये मेरी ही काम की वजह से हुआ था, तुम्हारा कोई इंपॉर्टेंस या इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं था. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स डू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. थियोरीज ऑफ लेबर वेलफेयर. आंसर. एंड कैन जस्टिफाई मीन्स. एंड कैन जस्टिफाई मीन्स का मतलब क्या होता है कि यहाँ पे जो मैकियावेलिज्म, ये वाले जो लोग होते हैं ना, मुझे वो चाहिए, वो चीज चाहिए बाय हुक और क्रुक. मैंने दिया ना, काम करके दिया ना, आप कैसे भी करके दिया हो, आपको उससे क्या, मैंने पावर यूज करी, मैंने उसको डराया, धमकाया, मैंने कुछ भी किया, आपको आउटपुट मिला ना. तो ही इज सेइंग एंड, अगर एंड सही है तो वो जस्टिफाई करता है मैंने क्या मीन्स क्या मेथड यूज किया. ठीक है, चलो लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट. At any cost, yes. Theories of labor welfare. This is again most repetitive question. Philanthropic theory, Plessing theory of labor welfare, public relation efficiency. Answer this. Yes. So simple. What is philanthropic? Labor welfare facilities or labor welfare theory says, philanthropic theory says that philanthropists are the people those who have love for mankind, right? They have love for mankind. वो उनके love के लिए kindness की वजह से welfare measures provide करते हैं. Placating theory is also called as appeasement theory. This theory says that laborers are no more ignorant. They are aware of their rights and they can be militant in nature. वो लड़ सकते हैं, झगड़ सकते हैं आपसे. तो in order to appease them, उनको शांत करने के लिए आपको उन्हें labor welfare facilities देनी पड़ती है. Public relation theory says that according to here the employer feels कि अच्छा करोगे तो आपकी image अच्छी होगी सोसाइटी में, लोगों के बीच में और कस्टमर्स के लिए, स्टेक होल्डर्स के लिए. फंक्शनल और एफिशिएंसी थ्योरी कहती है if you want to increase the productivity, it's very important to take care of the social needs of employee, and for that welfare measures are provided. Okay, so the last question for the day. Arrange the following deductions of Payment of Wages Act 1936 in the ascending order of sections. These sections actually start from section number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You have to arrange them. Yes, 9 से शुरू होता है. चलो, what would be the answer for this? Quickly. Fine. The answer for this is option number B. Duty से absence, loss, rendered services rendered, recovery of advances, loans. This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 12A, 13. How you have to remember this is D, फिर डैमेज एंड लॉस है तो DL, SR, एडवांसेस, लोन्स एंड योर इंश्योरेंस स्कीम. ठीक है, हाँ, सर्विसेज रेंडर्ड. ठीक है, राइट. सो पहले तो आप इसको ऐसे स्टोरी समझिए कि पहले कोई भी चीज अगर डिडक्ट होगी तो वो मेरी ड्यूटी की एब्सेंस, उसके बाद मैंने अगर कोई लॉस किया तो लॉसेस किए, तो ये दो चीज बेसिक है. उसके बाद जो मुझे सर्विस मिल रही है, फिर मैंने अगर एडवांस लिया है, लोन लिया है और इंश्योरेंस स्कीम्स या कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज में कोई पेमेंट्स देने. सो दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. गिव मी अ सेकेंड, 2 minutes, जस्ट अ सेकेंड. I know no voice was there. Class के notes कहाँ से मिलेंगे उमेश? I will upload this in the content section में, ठीक है? That was the session for the day. I am ending this right now. I have another detailed class. 10:45 को detailed class शुरू होगी. I will share the link organizational behavior की, ठीक है? So thank you so much. We'll meet in next class tomorrow. Most probably tomorrow 10 o'clock हमारी ये वाली क्लास होगी. अगर उसके पहले होती है I will share the link and notify you. Thank you.